booting up. All right, we should be live. We're here on Axie Chat tonight.
Dude, we're
Yeah,
back.
what's up? Enjoy's
Dude,
video's not working. I don't know what the
no,
crap's
man,
going
the
on.
the, the Christmas spirit's interfering with my
I
broadcast.
guess
We're
so.
gonna I'm gonna keep fiddling with it over on my side, and we'll we'll
Okay,
hopefully
all
join with you in a minute. You know, we've come a long way in the last couple months. We've had a hashtag for every month, and now we're in what, decisively December. What did you name us?
doing it December, you know?
Doing it December,
Doing
and
it.
and and I think it's coming along. We're slowly doing it. I'm still hoping we got another week left. I'm hoping for a little bit more, but we've definitely got some stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, there's been a crap ton of stuff happening for sure. I mean, it's kind of weird because it feels like things are just happening so fast. I went back looking through the new stuff, and I'll be honest, man, we were going to be here all night if I didn't pare some of it down. So I guess if nothing happens in the next week over Christmas, we'll have some stuff to go back to. But it was incredible, man. I was in shock with how much stuff was happening this last week.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got a little bit for everything, or a little bit for everyone too. We've got
Yeah.
some balance changes, which a lot of people were looking forward to. I think we've got some definitive information from Trung last week about what's
Oh
going on
yeah.
with the whole Ronin thing. So we've got some timeline estimate adjustments. But yeah, let's just jump into things.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, let's do. I just want to make sure everything's yeah good and running. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so and just got to show off, my Santa balls and my cute little Santa fur hat. So yeah, you're welcome for that. Make sure that that stays
So
in
so festive.
place. There we go. I don't know. Something's up with Enjoy's video feed. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, I'm,
So
I'm sorry guys. I'm still fiddling with this on my end, but we'll get it up soon enough.
okay, okay. Well, while he works on that, we'll just kind of keep on pressing forward. Um, okay, so here we go. All right. So news. Here we go.
Let's just roll. I don't know. I don't know why you're laughing over there. Other than still dominating, which is nice to see.
thanks, 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 Britt. Oh man, I don't
Dude,
know.
for
It's
anybody
gonna be a
listening,
weird
I'm
night. I
sorry.
can already
Baronar is
tell.
Baronar's having giggle fits over here reading the chat. We got to block his screen off on the right hand side.
For sure. Well, okay, so yeah, looking at the non fungible reports. Axie number one. It's just freaking, the same story again and again, and it's a story we love. We love to hear. And yeah, hey, thanks for everybody joining in the chat. We're excited to have you here for sure. So looking
And you
at
know what?
volume, yeah,
You know what I noticed about this too is we keep talking about the space and rising tides and all this stuff, and we're still here. We're the only game that's, well, on the last slide anyways, we're the only game in the space that's even recognizable. You click through to volume and Sandbox, they've got a big announcement coming up.
yeah.
So they're finally making the scene. CryptoKitties, I'm surprised they have any community at all. I step into their subreddit occasionally, and it's just people talking about how they can't list anything for a reasonable value. So I'm surprised to see that people are even still using that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's tough.
but
Thanks, Odin.
yeah, I don't know. There's just still no real competition.
Yeah, it's incredible, and just doing so good. Just so excited to see it keep on going. Hopefully, the space continues to grow. Hopefully, we just continue to dominate, though, too. One thing I'm thinking about this is with Ethereum continuing to rise. I've just been wondering what effect that was going to have. I mean, at least comparative to the USD, right? What effect that was going to have on marketplace prices. And it seems to be tracking fairly well, which is pretty cool. It seems like people care more about Axie assets in relation to Ethereum as opposed to USD or any other fiat. So I'm excited
Yeah,
to
and
see that happening.
I know I want to talk about that a little bit when you bring up the comparison to last week.
Yeah.
I think right now what we're looking at, the number of sales, the number of transactions, once Ronin's out, that's only going to increase a lot, just because people are going to be able to breed more. They're going to be able to sell more for potentially cheaper because they don't have to worry about the gas price taking half the profit. I think that's only going to increase once Ronin comes out in the next quarter or so.
Yeah, I think so too. It's going to be really interesting to see the effect of Ronin. Um, and yeah, you just said next quarter. Anyway, I don't.
We don't know.
We don't know. I hope it's at least by next quarter. I'm still kind of crossing my fingers that at least land and land items happens this year. But I don't know. I mean, Trung made it sound like it was, but good grief, how many days left? 9. Wow. Okay. And then dipping down here on the USD, it seemed like there were some pretty major super rare and some major art things that were happening during this particular week. And again, these are all reported from a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah,
So
I think it's over the last 2 weeks, I believe.
yeah, so
This is from the 14th.
right. And there were some pretty big things happening in the art communities, the crypto, the NFT art communities at this time. So
Yep.
not super surprising, but again, Axie doing amazing, and I guess good for super rare or whoever it was that was selling that art. Okay, so the tokens. This is interesting too. So we had Axie Infinity actually pump up to like 80 cents, if I remember right. I've been tracking it pretty close. But we see 2 reports ago we were at 40, went to 72, pumped up to 80, and now it's kind of relaxed off at 65. It actually dipped to about 59, I think, 58, 59 for just like a split second, and then went back up into the 60s. So if you're tracking Axis like we are, there you go. And
I've got
SLP, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I've got nothing to say about that, but I will use that as a segue.
Yeah.
I think I got my webcam figured out. Let's see if I pop up here.
Oh,
Am I live? I'm live, guys. Happy holidays. Listen,
that is
I'm gonna
something.
use this. I'm gonna use this. I'm not what you guys think that I'm dressed up as. This may be the first Axie cosplay in the history of Axie Infinity. I
What
just
are
want to
you
throw that out
talking
there real
about?
quick. Listen.
Enjoy. What are you even? Okay,
I am
catch
announcing
my breath.
my own breeding contest, my own holiday breeding
What?
contest. We are locking this thing down. Everybody's upset. Everybody wants to breed. Everybody wants a contest. I'm throwing 250 Axis on the line. I want
What?
baronar. Listen, I sent you a link. I want somebody to breed this for me. Drop it in my inbox.
What
The
are
first
you?
person to do
All
it.
right, I'm looking.
First
I don't
person to
know
do it.
even what's
Breed
happening.
me my Grinch Axie. Gets
What is
250
this?
Axis.
Oh my gosh!
So pull it up on the screen. This is what I want to see.
What on
You heard it here
earth?
first.
I'm trying to get it to map.
Oh, there
What?
we go. Yes. Obviously, don't worry about the Mary Lamb. You can just do lamb. Just do lamb. No Mary Lamb. I was trying to keep it festive.
Say it. You got. I'm having a hard time dying. Okay.
So first one to breed that and drop it over to me. 250 Axis.
Awesome. That's awesome.
As well as the reward of getting to look at me look like this for the rest of the stream. And
Dude,
let me
that's
tell you,
awesome.
it is hot, man.
Yeah, you look hot. Wow, I don't even know what has happened, but that's awesome, man.
Christmas spirit.
Wow,
Let's go.
love it. I love it. Well, so that took a turn. I enjoyed that very much. Enjoy.
Don't use my name in vain.
All right. Well, things took a turn on Axie Chat tonight, y'all. Hopefully you're enjoying the ride. So,
All right, keep a straight
okay,
face. We got a show to put on. Let's go.
man, I'm trying. Okay. Well, yeah. So, on another note, in the market news,
I'm not a Grinch. I'm an Axie. Come on, duck face. Pay attention.
I love it. Yeah, that's fun. Okay, well, I love the gauntlet that Enjoi has thrown down here, and hopefully someone's able to claim that 250 axis, and it's gonna be fun. Okay, so SLP again continues to kind of hover in the 2.5 cents range. It went back up to about 3.5 for a minute. Now it's kind of it actually dipped a little bit lower. It dipped down to like 22 again or something like that, but bounced right back up to 2.5 cents to 2.6. So that's where we're at on the small love potion. Hopefully you can
I'm
get what
gonna
you
take
need.
your word for it. I can't really see it, so
Yeah,
we can move on to the next slide.
I'm wondering. And then whoa, I mean about whoa, you got to just say whoa. So you and I had mentioned that origin axes were trading a lot higher than the token itself, and so I guess
Yep.
I'm not super surprised this happened, but this actually pumped all the way up to 700, above 700 for a minute.
There was a time this week where someone inboxed me, asking if I don't know, if they had a deal on the table for some Origin Axes, and the floor for Origin Axes was 1.2 ETH
Yep,
for like a zero breed, for any Origin Axie,
anything.
but it just happened to be a zero breed.
Yep,
And the WoW token was down, I think it was at like 0.8
it's
ETH
crazy.
per WoW token.
Yep.
So yeah, man, if you were able to get in on that and trade it in, I think I saw a lot of Origins going in the market today. So there's definitely a lot of interest recently.
Yeah, it's freaking cool. It's such a cool thing. The way this token has come to be and continue to be a success. Really, I feel like helping out the value of those origin axes significantly, and I'm hopeful to see those have special treatment when it comes to land, just like we're all hopeful that mystics will too, and so forth too. Definitely clearly rare assets, and that's one of the driving factors of value. So excited
Yeah,
about.
and as Odin says in chat, Origin Axes are now almost as expensive as Mystics were a year ago. Very true. It'll be
Whoa.
interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what those Origins do a year from now.
Yeah, I mean there have been some pretty cool origin sales, and I mean mystic sales, origin sales too. But yeah, it's exciting to see. Um, yeah, I guess we'll see what the future holds. Okay, so this was awesome. Project K completed. We had the results of the plot design contest. Great stuff. I saw that you landed a coin gecko,
Yes, sir.
so that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'm happy with that too. I was actually a part of that initial promotion, and it went to my spam box, and I never redeemed it, and you can't
Oh,
do it anymore. So I'm just happy to finally have
to
one.
have one.
But I think one of the cool things about this, and obviously, big props to the first couple place winners, and big props to everybody who participated in general, because there was a lot of creativity, just a lot of cool ideas. And we've said it before, but the point of the Project K is to give them feedback, allow them to kind of see what people are doing and see
Yep.
how people utilize it. And I just think, a lot of the stuff that we were seeing, we're going to see a lot more added to the game that's going to let them, let people be more creative in the future just because of the stuff that we saw. But big props to everybody. I think it's
Yeah.
really cool that they gave out 50 prizes for this. They only had to do 10 or 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
So just neat all around.
No, I thought it was awesome too. It was kind of funny. A couple days in, we were wondering if everybody wasn't going to get a prize, just because uh, I think people were just kind of like figuring out how to get the program to run. We had people like Odin who apparently avoid Windows like the plague or something, and couldn't get their systems running the game for a while. But people figured that out, got on, and got their cool stuff. Yeah,
I
8K
mean, there,
hit it the first day. I think I hit it the first day too. So
I was just gonna say, I think most people, I think like maybe only 30 entries were in the day before it was due. And I think they got around 85 total. So,
yeah,
um, decent turnout for what it was.
absolutely. Daviccio says I miss land, and we're with you, man. I
Oh,
definitely do. It's been fun, but like Trung said when in his interview with me, you know, you kind of if you leave it out too long when it's really just a demo, people will eventually start saying, "Hey, we can't really do very much with this." And so I think putting the time limit that they had on it made a lot of sense. I agree with Trung's philosophy on that. So I think it was a good thing. And it really wet our whistle, and we're all excited for more, right? So
yeah.
wanted to just quickly go over the first place, the first three. So this was the third place. Man, it really, I miss it just looking at it. Like I wish I could just get in there and mess around with items and chop down trees and mine stone. This was the second place. Really a nice, peaceful. It was fun because each of these had kind of their own different approach. And then the first place one, which was amazing here too, this first place one has hardly any, if any. I don't even know if it has
No,
any
it's
items.
100% mineable. Yep. No
That I
items
mean,
at all.
that's incredible that it was all crafted from the available furniture. Um, so
Yeah, I think really the cool thing about all of them is just the simplicity, right? It's
yeah,
like they're just beautiful or, well executed ideas. So it wasn't like they're going after the people who were the the most well off in items or anything like that. People were look. I mean, take this one for example. It's a chess set, and it's all completely mineable out of
yeah,
stone. Just neat that
incredible.
they, yeah.
Yep, great stuff. Excited to see how things go um, when we finally get more of a later alpha or something with more permanence with respect to land. It's going to be so awesome. And again, I just loved so much seeing my assets in play, having my axes on my land and traveling around the map, visiting other people's properties, looking at what they had been doing. Ah, it was awesome. Okay. So this one I just thought was cool. I'm not monetized on YouTube, even though when I pull this up, it's going to cause issues, but I don't really care because it's so cool. I don't know how many people saw this, but I wanted to make sure people saw it. Reels just kicked butt. He rocks on this, and I wanted to show everybody.
And again, while we're watching this, and I don't want to interrupt the music or the sound or
Oh,
whatever,
you're fine.
but again, I think the neat thing is the simplicity, the ease of, like, I don't know, the way that this whole thing's put together is simple for the end user to like kind of make. Um, but I really love what Reels did here and just kind of take his skills, and he's always been great with video
Yeah.
and put a little story behind the whole thing too. Um,
Yep. Anyway,
just
I
I
just
mean
had to feature that one. I thought that was such an incredible job that he did.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm trying to point out is that we're going to see a lot more really
Oh
cool
yeah.
content like that in the future
Oh
once they
yeah.
start really opening things up.
Oh yeah, we will for sure. And the spotlight guy is one of them that's highly likely to be doing a lot of it too. RC Tech. It was cool to see he got the player spotlight this last go round. Love his Axie cards. He's heavily involved with Levox, right?
Yep,
And
yep.
just so what a great article. Good to see one of the old time guys get featured, and he has such a great perspective in the Axie universe. So valuable, and he's one of these great content creators, a real community contributor. So way to go, RC man. It was great to see you get the player spotlight.
Yeah, and just going back, he's been around since the beginning. He was in all the early tournaments and really made his, he helped figure out a lot of the current meta and the old metas, and really build the competitive scene. And he does lead Levo X with Debos, I think.
The boys,
So
yeah, or however you say
that's
it, yeah.
yeah. So that has been something that's been going on a while, and I've seen a lot more of their tags recently. The other thing, and I don't know if you have a slide for this next, but he made an announcement in the end of that, which I know a lot of people are looking forward to, is the Axie tree announcement.
You mean
Are we
this one?
moving on to that next? Yes. Um, so this is something that's been kind of making waves. They made an announcement this last week, and we've seen the tweets from Axie, what is it, 265, over the last couple months, who they've kind of been using as a spokesperson. But it's a couple guys who are trying to build a new way to lend Axies essentially.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't want to speak for the scholarship programs, but we've had a lot of incoming people looking for scholarships, and it seems from the outside perspective that there's a lot of people that may still be underserved.
Yeah.
Um, and and so personally, I'm looking forward to this just because maybe at the very least it's one more group that could potentially lend them out,
Yep.
or help people get into Axie. But on the other side, they've got this really neat idea, where if you've got a couple Axies laying around, you can actually lend them into the program, or borrow them into the program, and then Axie Tree will lend them out, and you'll get a percentage of the earnings. So I
Yeah.
think that has a lot of cool implications for the whole, I guess, earning side of Axie Infinity as well. Just really excited, and I know that they're planning on doing their initial launch at least, on Christmas Day.
Yeah. Pretty freaking cool. I mean, I'm really excited about this. This is basically, I think many of us have suggested this exact idea over time, and it's just awesome to see somebody, just going out and doing it, getting it done. And as far as I can tell, they have pretty good support from the team too. So I don't feel like this is one where they're completely going rogue or anything. I think it's even closer, kind of closer. I don't know for sure, but you have open seas that allows for a marketplace for NFTs, but they are obviously they seem completely arm's length from the team. They don't really seem to have any interaction with the team at all. Whereas it kind of seemed, I think I saw Jiho at least likes one of their tweets or something, and
Yeah, he jumped into their Discord. I know they were asking him questions. I'm not sure that the team's like on board, like they're not
oh
supporting
yeah, no,
Axie
yeah, I'm
Tree,
not saying that at
but
all.
they're definitely not, they're
Against
welcoming
it, or
them
yeah,
into the
right.
community. Yeah, no, I mean it's
They're
a really
friendly.
interesting program. Um, I think the couple of questions is when they first launch, it's a new contract, new program. I know they're starting small with a small amount of lenders right off the bat. So not everybody's going to be able to lend their leftover Axies into this program to potentially earn right away.
Right.
But with anything new in this space, you also want to kind of wade in, slowly. Make sure that there's, these are trustworthy people, and that everything behaves as it should be, because there's, potentially could be contract issues or whatever. So,
Sure.
some things to note. It's not all, I'll be a little grinchy, but it's certainly exciting, to, I think the idea is certainly exciting. So we'll see how the execution shapes up.
Yeah, and I'm interested too because I've had conversations with people like Binary Assets specifically about kind of attempting to do some scholarship stuff and getting a little bit burnt because of multi-boxing and banned axes, and that's just a huge risk there. So if there's some method that they've found to assist with that, which would be wonderful. Again, I don't really know anything like that, but I know that there's a lot of people with a lot of assets that if they felt like there was a safe way to lend them, I think that more people would have done scholarships. I know I was really reluctant, and in the end, I'm glad I was reluctant. Um, but as AK says, I probably just don't have any Axies that are worth lending out anyway.
That's that's probably true. Me as well. Um, yeah. Again, I think the implications for something like this are huge for the community. I think that there's still going to be a place for the scholarships either way, even if this thing blows up, because there's certainly something to, I know that uh, AK and Reels and Cats program, um, all these different programs, they try to add something different into the mix, right? Where they're doing some training as well, and they're doing their own little competitions, and they're,
Yep.
maybe having bonuses for hitting certain marks or, being at a certain point in the leaderboard. So,
Yeah.
there's always going to be a place for whatever's been happening. Um, just a new way to do it potentially.
Again, thanks BA and Britt and everybody who supports this. Odin, thanks so much for your help modding and everything too. Helping with the stream. So yeah, Axie Tree, I'm super excited about this. I love new innovations. I love new things. Again, love the woe concept, and I'd love to see more and more of these things happening. And to me, this Axie Tree is just another step along the path that the team itself is so busy with so many things they have going on. I think that they would love to come up with this type of system, but they have to get Ronin, they have to get Land, they have to get Battles version 2, they have to figure out the community treasury. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that's facing the team, and they can't just do every single little bit. It's still like Trung said in the interview. And again, if you haven't watched that, or if you haven't rewatched it a couple times, I'd highly recommend pulling that up, listening to it. That he gave some really great treasures in that interview. Again, that if you listen carefully and mind through them, they're really really worthwhile. And they just have limited resources, but they do want to do better in following through with the promises, with the things that they've said in the past, and not having people wait quite so long. And so they're going to be focused on making sure that they follow through with that stuff. So yeah. Okay. Axie Tree, excited. This was kind of cool. Having an outside group verify that Axie Infinity user base has increased 10 times since September 2020.
Dude,
Um,
huge.
yeah.
We go over these numbers week by week, and we talk about, the marketplace numbers increasing and the actual number of users, whatever. We see the week by week. I don't
Yep.
think I've taken the time to actually step back and look at it over the last 3 months, though. And, 10 times is just, it's insanity. And I mean, it feels like it. If you spend any time in Discord, there's always new names of people coming in. There's obviously we get all these charts and stuff, but yeah, it feels good to be validated, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely agree. Yep. So that was an awesome one. Jiho, he tweeted out that we hit 17,700 players. I can't remember what day this was. I accidentally clipped that off of this snip, but amazing. Kind of, I guess we've been kind of stuck at the 16,000 mark, but smashed right on through. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, and hey, going back to what Odin said earlier in the chat is, um, with the Origins being the same price as Mystics last year, like we've had 10 times the amount of new people come into the community in the last 3 months. And, these Mystics and these Origins have only increased a certain amount as well. I'm really curious to see what happens in the long term, especially since it seems like these people are all sticking around and continuing to play. Once we get Land released, once like there's actually utility for some of this stuff, it's going to start getting really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it looks like we may have had Jiho's come visit us. It's morning for him, so thank you for, rising and shining. Okay. All right. This was awesome too. Cuckoo, he hit partner in YouTube. Hey, thanks Davicio for the subscription. You guys are awesome supporting us. It's so cool having the stream supported. Appreciate it. But Cuckoo doing so well. I think that this relates to the Filipino market, yeah. And man, so cool hitting partner. I think didn't Kagi hit partner as well?
Yeah, I believe so.
man.
Um, again, just I guess the speed of growth is what I want to point out here. Because again, he just started 4 months ago, and I remember he reached out to me and was asking, just some general information, trying to verify, stats or whatever of how much SLP you earn or whatever. And he had just started his YouTube channel, so it's crazy to me to see just, I guess, the success that people are having in this space, creating content and building the community. It's what he's doing.
Yep, for sure. Oh, and hey, we're on the hype train, man. Woohoo!
Oh yeah.
Thanks all. Thanks y'all. Right on. So cool. Yeah, again, thanks so much for all your support. And it's so awesome. We're sitting here with Santa hats and everything. Such a fun time. And do you want to just kind of quickly talk about what we're hoping to do? Maybe is like a pre-New Year type of thing.
Yeah, guys. So next week we want to have a Axie Infinity Christmas party. We'll do it live on Axie Chat. We're hoping to potentially pull some different people in from the community to give their thoughts on different things. We'll be giving out a little bit more information as we go, but yeah. So next Tuesday, same time, same place. We'll get the information out, but little holiday party for you all.
Yeah, yeah. We're hoping that we can figure out how to kind of mesh it with the Discord chat and let kind of people say hi and figure it out. I think that we can make it work that way. If people be respectful in the Discord chat, we can kind of pipe it over here, kind of the way we're doing our video chats. And again, I think you and I actually both have the ability to mute people if we have to in that channel in the stream over there. So hopefully everybody will just be respectful and take turns. But yeah, we kind of envision having a party kind of atmosphere as well, in addition to having kind of some specific people, maybe with messages or with insights or something like that. We're
Yes,
playing around
sir.
with it. Regardless, we want to kind of have a party on Axie Chat and have a fun time. So we're we're trying to sort out a good way to do that. We just appreciate you guys so much. Wow, thanks so much for all the for the hype train and all the subs, and you guys are awesome. Okay, and it's fun seeing all this different stuff happening in the community. We did see the Galadriel tattoo, and we had somebody claim, and Galadriel basically said, "Bring it, we want more." So that was freaking awesome to see. Um, all right, hype train, hype train again.
It's
Oh,
getting
you
crazy
got
in here.
level 2, you guys. Oh man, thanks so much. So I mean, this was awesome. One thing though that it's so cool. Thanks, y'all. One thing I saw about this was interesting. Jiho's comment, like, what happens when we get upgraded mystic parts? What? I mean, this becomes even a more rare tat, right? At that point, it just the
Yeah, I
rarity
guess it does.
increases. But that's a good point. And when he said that, I was just like, "Whoa, it's so incredible, right?"
I
That
don't know.
here,
I want to see multipliers applied. So this guy gets the upgraded one, and maybe he gets 200 bucks.
there you go, there you go. I like that a lot. I don't know if I saw Axia get tatted yet, and that one was an ETH. So I'm expecting. I thought maybe that's why you didn't have your video on. You're gonna show us your Axia tat.
I got to think about that one though. That's a good deal. Not to mention, I mean, I think Jiho threw in some access. I think Delphi Digital threw in a
Yep.
subscription, plus the Cloud White,
Yeah,
the Cream.
that's right.
So this is a quad
Wait,
mystic for
right.
for a quad benefit. There's a
Yeah,
there's a lot that they got for this.
way more than $100. Yeah, just the cream
Right.
itself was way more than that. So freaking amazing. All right, this was cool too. Axie Infinity on DAP Radar's kind of card list. The
No,
Ace.
I didn't see that. That's awesome,
Yeah, the
dude.
Ace.
Sweet.
Top
I
deck.
love it.
Highest level. So cool to see that. Axie just can't stop winning. It's a beautiful thing. Just got to keep that going. keep that hype train for Axie Infinity going. So cool seeing them do so well. And again, it's just the beginning, just getting started. So that was max daily average users on at this time 6,862.
Cool beans.
So T-Pen's tournament got done, but he wasn't done. I don't know who's seen this, but he uploaded kind of esports style, all the different matchups from all the different groups and all the different quarterfinals and everything. So if you're wanting to see me get my butt kicked by Indus in this tournament, it's pretty easy to go to T-Pen's YouTube and check it out. I mean, just to learn and kind of see how things go. I know there's been a meta change, and we're going to talk quite a bit about that. The cool thing now is you can go back and you can see if you were in it, you can see how you did. If you're wanting to see how Prathap or Indus or Landfill, who did really well, see how they did and how their teams were and how the interactions went. Well, here's about golly, hours and hours of more information if you want to really improve your ability. Hey Bader Gaming, thanks so much for the sub. So yeah, freaking good stuff. And again, great way to learn more. And again, it was just so fun to see it be kind of like it reminded me of some of the like the StarCraft tournament stuff, the different esports stuff where they show all the different matches, Melee, Smash and stuff like that too. So good job.
Well, I know
T-Pen.
I, for one, am going to go back and watch that tournament with you and Indus and learn how not to be baronar. Go put that on repeat.
Yeah. Hey, I had to play against some pretty good people, and I only think one time did I lose completely, and the other guy had all three Axies still alive. I'm kind of kidding around. I did okay. This was a new announcement too. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Sisofu. Thanks everybody. So cool. Yield Guild has officially launched.
Entered the building.
Yeah, it's good to see that happening. Gabby kind of at the helm of that one, of course. So cool to see this stuff happening. Yeah, it was an interesting announcement. Interesting to see what they're up to, and kind of how that's gonna go forward. Did you get a chance to check that out and see?
Yeah, and it's certainly different than how the scholarships are running, and it's different than what Axie Tree is doing. I just think it's really cool that there's all these different methodologies between the best way to play the game. Again, we keep coming back to, there's a lot of different ways to play Axie. there's a lot of ways to be involved, and this is just one more iteration of how that can be done.
Absolutely. And just so you guys know, next week when we're on the stream too, I'm gonna have a lot more giveaways ready to go. I'm excited.
You can't have a party without giveaways.
That's exactly right. We're gonna have a good time. All right. Also, I just love shouting out people. I think VZ's here in the chat too, but I love seeing people making content. I want to see just more and more people sometimes contact. I think you as well, Enjoi, and our message is always just, we want more. We want to see more people doing more. We love having Axie content. We don't want to just listen to ourselves all the time.
So I don't want to listen to you anymore. No, honestly, dude, this thing was hilarious. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. I need them to make an iteration of Axie with just these sound effects, because if I could play the game with those sound effects rather than whatever's default, dude.
Yeah.
Game changer.
Sure. Man, thanks Landfill, Lucid. You guys are so awesome. Man, what a great time. Yeah, so VZ, good job. Excited. Always glad to promote people who are out there creating content for the community. So awesome. Such a great thing. And that's what I feel so strongly about this community is seeing everybody support it and being positive and doing their best to. I mean, even still in the chat, it's so nice to see in the Discord chat, seeing people just go out of their way to help people learn and how to how to play the game and how to get involved. And it's complicated, so it takes people some investment of time to explain some of these things and make sure that people understand even just how to get going at all. So thanks, everybody. All right. Axie Life, another new one. Did you see this one? Enjoi?
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah. So check this one out. If I can't remember if they already no, it's Christmas Day. So if you want to try to qualify for their Axis giveaway, go to Axis Life on Twitter, or Axie Life on Twitter, and do what's necessary. I did retweet it, so if you look up mine, you can see it as well. And Britt, you're right. I don't think Enjoi can see anything.
Can't see anything.
He's just like, what's happening? I have no idea.
What's Axie Life? I think that's a new
I'm not even
a
sure.
new account. Is that a new thing?
Yeah, it's a new thing. I don't know for sure if it's like Axie Universe or if they're planning on doing stuff or what. But right now it's a giveaway. So you know what? Go ahead, go get involved in the giveaway for sure.
Guides and tactics, tools and analytics, community voting, contest streams.
Yep.
So nice new site for that coming up soon.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yep. And hey, I see Lucid is the raid boss there in the Twitch stream. So hey, congrats, Lucid. I'm so excited for this. I think that there's still some spots open, and Chief just does such an amazing job at this stuff. It's gonna be such a good time, such a great day, right?
Chief is a national treasure. He's a treasure for the whole of Lunacia. Yeah, and I know that. So he had started with the intention of getting a certain amount of teams. I guess they've overbooked that already, so they've started up another pool of teams to allow more people to play. So they are filling up more. If you're interested, get in there because obviously it's filling up quick. But man, this is gonna be cool. Just again, it's you and T-Pen did a tournament with a new style.
Yep.
Chiefs doing a new style for this one. Like we're just seeing a lot of different iterations, and yeah, it's neat to see it. It keeps things interesting.
Yeah, it really does. It's awesome. Indus, are you saying it's full? I think Indus said in the chat it might be full, so that's kind of too bad. I waited
it's full
too long.
again. Well, anyways, December 26th. Keep an eye out for it. Watch the tournament. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. It's gonna be freaking awesome. Great prize pool too. It's such awesome. So cool. And I know community gaming is working really hard on. Chief talked about it last time with us. Working really hard to get some of that stuff automated and efficient, so that the tournament scene can happen easier. Now we all just need gas to chill out, right? Good grief. Okay.
I don't know that's going to happen. I think we're going to have to wait to till Ronin.
Yeah, for us, I think it's Ronin, and I don't even know what happens with ETH 2. How the, how
got
that.
Some Grinch hair in my mouth.
I don't want to hear that, man. I don't
Dude,
know it.
This thing's so hot. I gotta.
Yeah, you're sweating, man.
Ooh.
We've got a grinchy, sweaty Enjoi.
Oh, all right.
Hey, thanks, Arctic, for the sub. All right, so we got a lot to talk about. We got season 14. We got some balance updates. We got a little bit of an announcement that went along with it. Pretty cool stuff. Excited to.
Oh. It feels good, man. At least I don't have a fire to stoke.
For those that are listening, I don't even know how to replicate what we're
it's 1,000,000 degrees in that suit. Listen, contest still on. Breed me a Grinch. You get money.
Oh, now we've got Enjoi ready to go, go, go lift some heavy things. All
Or
right,
go
and
roll around in the snow.
awesome. All
All
right,
right.
so let's talk about this. Um, Cloud whiting it, nice, Brit. Cloud, we love you, buddy. All right. Okay, so Aximus, wasn't this cool? I freaking the art in Axie Infinity is just amazing.
Dude, it looks so good. But dude, Jiho, if you're still here, man, you threw us for a loop with
Oh
your
yeah,
whole it's not Xmas, it's something.
yeah.
Like this is all you did was add an A, bro. That's not a change. We knew it was coming. We didn't expect the A.
That's so funny.
Like,
I guess yeah. More and more I'm learning Jiho is really like
dude, he's a
Odin just said in
troll.
chat, a cheeky boy for sure. Yeah. So exciting stuff though. Good stuff. Wondering, Axie World tweeted out they feel like there's at least one more thing that's likely to come before the end of the year. What do you think about that?
Um, I, I hope so, just because I feel like they queued us up for a lot, and even in the announcement, I think Jiho mentioned it. That there's hold on, I'm pulling it up.
More to come.
Stay tuned for more end of year surprises. So,
Yep.
I mean that's
Surprises.
right out of the announcement. I'm expecting that. I mean, we got Christmas coming up, we got New Year's coming up, we got a week and a half left.
Yep.
Um, who freaking knows at this point?
For sure. Who freaking
It's
knows?
been a crazy couple months. Again, we're going back from like no updates for 6 months plus, and now it's every week, and I can't deal.
Well, again, we mentioned this before, but I think it's worth saying again. Like our first couple of Axie chats, we were like thinking, "Good grief, what are we gonna cover?" Like we're almost like trying to generate ideas and we never ran out of stuff to talk about.
We
But
never
like,
even did half our ideas. Half our
no,
ideas were just briefing the community
yep,
on, oh, this is what we think the price of land's going to be. And we never even got to that. They keep us busy.
I know, man, we really haven't. So, I mean, just congrats to everybody, right? Because that's wonderful. That just shows how thriving and how robust the community is, and it's just a wonderful thing. So, this is pretty awesome news. Actually, getting access. So, I mean, that was my hope. Was there's going to be pathways to access both in land and in the battles, and we get
Yep.
our
Yep.
first pathway here to earning access, in addition to earning the SLP all along the way, for getting on the leaderboard. And
I mean, some of you are going to be earning access. I won't. But it's
well,
certainly cool to see that some people like Indus are going to get rewarded with a decent amount. I
sure,
think and the conversion for this, so we're looking at a chart that says 50,000 or 500,000 for top one place. The
right,
conversion is 1,000 to 1, so you're looking at 500 first place,
yep,
second place 400, and so on and so forth. But they've also extended that out past the first 100 to 200, which I think is really cool to see.
yeah.
Again, you're not getting a whole bunch, but maybe in a couple of years when Access is worth, you know, $5-6. Wishful thinking here, but it could happen.
I mean,
That's going to be
still, this
worth
is
something
better than
serious.
the DAI, the die rewards, right?
Oh, for sure, for
So,
sure. There's no dust here.
yep,
And again, this is going to allow you to get in with the staking, with the whole Axie score if you don't have access yet. I think that's the real potential here is it's enabling people who maybe haven't taken the time to invest to
yep,
actually own a piece of the community. So, or own a piece of the product. It's
yep.
yeah,
It's awesome. I mean, I'm super excited about it. To be honest, this is one time where I wouldn't mind maybe the dust being implemented in some form, just to see people
right.
actually kind of earning some of the access dust. I know. I mean, it's hard to want to just keep wanting more and more and more, and I don't want to sound that way, but it would be fun to have some people just kind of getting a little bit of a dust
Well,
here
yeah,
and
I
there.
mean, on the flip side, we had what 16,000, 17,000 daily active users yesterday. Um,
Yep.
it'd be nice if more than 200 people were able to get a piece of that. if it was maybe occasional drops or, past a certain point, you'd get, one for participating in the season or, I don't know. But that's my only hesitation is there's still a lot of people that, are contributing to the community, are taking part, and they're not, you know, getting to getting that ownership stake. But,
Yeah, yeah.
again, it's still early and we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, we will, and it'll be interesting to see how things kind of progress. I do think it would be kind of cool that if there was some really low obviously it'd have to be super low chance to receive a quarter of an axis. I mean, that would be kind of cool. So I hope they're open to that idea, and especially once Ronan, um, having the dust isn't quite as big a deal. Because then you could kind of swap it back and forth with people. And depending on what type of currency we're talking about, fractionalized axis may have usefulness in applications, crafting, land play, that type of stuff. So, maybe it would be interesting to see. I definitely love this. I think it's wonderful. Decimals of axis will be called trungs.
Love it.
Woo! A trung! Dude, Lucid just coined that. Maybe that's already existed, but that is
No,
awesome,
I
Lucid.
think that's sticking. Thanks, Lucid.
Yep,
That's
trungs.
I think that's a
I want
game
to earn
changer.
trungs, man. So go ahead and bring back dust because I want to have several thousand trungs.
Dude, and just because of that, Trung is never
My
coming on
two
this
trunks.
podcast
Wow.
ever again. Thanks, Lucid. Baronar just lost all access to his idol.
I love trunks, man. That's awesome. Grumpy trunk. Yeah, it's yeah. What's the multiplier if it's a grumpy trunk? Anyway, okay. Yeah. So good stuff. Great to see us being able to actually play to earn specifically Axis. I
Yeah.
think that's wonderful. Um, and I
And
don't know if
listen,
I.
hey, I
Yeah.
I will just throw out for those of you who are way out of the top 200 like myself and still want some access, you can still trade your SLP for access. So
Yep.
there's definitely a way to still play to earn if you want a piece of it. I
And
think
I
a lot
don't
of people
think.
forget that.
Yeah, I don't think I made a slide specifically on this, so we can just talk about it now. But there was a change in the SLP claim system as well, and
Hmm.
and I know there's been a little bit of confusion. Hopefully, we're not going to further confuse people because even with the battles changes, there's some stuff that can be a little bit confusing too. But my understanding is that basically, once you've earned something, that you have to wait 14 days before you can claim any of it. And once you hit that 14-day threshold, then you can claim what's available to you over that 2 week period. Did I say that right? I don't even know.
Yeah, essentially, we asked Jiho for some clarification. I think that they're going to make maybe they already did make a broader announcement, but basically, SLP can be claimed once every 14 days. It's not a rolling claim, like I had initially thought. I had initially thought that, okay, if I earn it today, I can claim it in 2 weeks, and then if I earn it tomorrow, I can earn that 2 weeks from tomorrow, and so on and so forth. It's once every 14 days. So you can claim the SLP earned from today until January 6th, I think. And then after that, you'll be able to claim again on January 20th.
Right.
That's from today. So it's everything that you've earned through that period, and then that's your claim period. And
Right.
I don't think everybody syncs up, so it's not like I can say, hey, everybody, your claim period is this day at this time. It's just whenever you can claim. And I think if you miss that, you're you can still claim. It just resets from that day when you claim. Is that correct? Is that how you take it?
Yeah, that's the way I took it too. But again, I'm looking forward for the clarification just so that we understand. And again, like I'm not worried about it. I think that the idea behind it is perfect. I think that it's going to actually save people from themselves a little bit where
Right.
they're I mean, I know that there were people in the community that were accidentally clicking that sync button and costing themselves gas beyond what they were
Right.
receiving in SLP. And so I think it's a good thing overall. Definitely the purpose behind it to kind of allow the team to kind of sort through what's happening with respect to the
Right.
earnings. I think that's a very, very good thing. And I'm really, really interested to see what it does as far as market impact. What do you think about that? I mean, that's one thing that I've been, I've been sitting here thinking, gee whiz, should I have hurried and grabbed some more? Because if something happens in between the 2 week period, and with the pace that things get released and things happen,
Yeah.
2 weeks could be an eternity.
Well, I don't know that the change really changes much in terms of the price. People are
Sure.
still gonna, the more players we have, the more it's gonna average out. So it's not like there's gonna be these big gaps between people withdrawing. Um,
Maybe
but what
every
it
two
is gonna
weeks it
do,
kind of floods the market and it has a
yeah,
temporary dip.
but we're not on the same withdrawal period. Me and you are going to be on different withdrawal periods depending on when we withdrew last. So I
Right.
think it's going to, the more players we have, the more that's going to even out, and there's not going to be
Yeah.
so large of fluctuation. What it really does, and the goal of this whole thing was to prevent some of these botting farms or these SLP farms from popping up. And the team mentioned somewhere that they've been banning, I think, like a couple hundred people a week or a couple hundred addresses that have been associated with these farms. So, for the people who are maybe a little concerned or confused by this choice, the goal isn't to mess with your SLP earnings. You're going to be making the same
Oh
amount of
yeah.
SLP. The goal is to give them time to look through the data and figure out who may be abusing the system so that they can ban those groups, so that they're not flooding the market with, I mean, I guess it's still earned SLP, but it's not earned legitimately. So in reality, I think what it's going to do is yeah, I think it'll probably boost SLP prices just a little bit, not
Yeah.
not a terrible amount, but because there's less groups that are able to kind of come in and abuse the system.
Yep. 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 And that's a wonderful result, honestly. And again, I'm it's just going to be so interesting to see what happens with Battles V2 and all the different things that might happen. Okay. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about some of these balance changes. There weren't very many.
No, Jesus. Hey, and real quick before we even jump into this, I saw that Z rated us with a couple people. I know that he was doing a stream before this,
Oh,
to kind
thanks,
of build
Z.
out his new tier list. If you guys get a chance, and I'll link to it from somewhere. If you go into Discord, I'm sure you'll be able to find it. But go back and watch his video. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
you can also just go and look at the tier list to kind of see where he ranks things. Z is super knowledgeable. We've had him
Oh
on
yeah.
here before to kind of go over some of these balance changes, and talk about what he thinks. But watching him actually go through and decide where they all fit, he lays down a lot of
Yeah.
super valuable insight into,
Yep.
not only, how good is this card, but also what is this used in conjunction and why is this ranked better or worse because of what it's comboed with. There's, again, just a huge shout out to him. Another just pillar of our community. Like, without
Absolutely.
somebody going and doing that makes it so much easier for new people to get started and to figure out what's good and what's worthwhile playing. So, um, again, just big props.
Absolutely. Thank you, Z. All right. So yeah, and again in the chat, feel free to talk about any of these things. We're paying attention and trying to give you good information, as good as we are, being the land dwellers that we are. So so
Guys, we run a podcast. We're not good playing the game. We run a podcast.
that's right, man. All right. So self heal though, it seems like the team wanted to encourage self heal. For the most part, all of these are buffs to the self heal. An enemy really interesting
Yep.
with the way that works. But zigzag, herbivore, catfish, mosquito, all those, kind of drain, life steal style self heals, all buffed. Um, Very interesting. I think it makes them, just that much more viable. And then with the other changes, I think it's a relatively significant impact. Razor bite, the change there was interesting to me. I know, I've gotten hit a couple times with a surprise razor bite, because it's kind of hard to remember every single interaction all the time, unless you're Indus or Z or whatever, AK. But that was a massive one. Like if you had a fish backliner and someone had Why So Serious, you were absolutely toast. I mean, I'm not saying that you aren't still. You probably are still toast. But it did kind of taper it back a little bit. So, and probably rightfully so. That's a pretty strong card when you add a heal ability to it, because it's already, it was already 150. That's good defense. That's a good strong card. And then when you add heal to it, that could be that's a huge benefit. And it's heal by damage too. You're already doing a ton of damage. I don't know. Good changes,
Yep.
I thought.
Yeah, I think they were all good changes. I think this season we'll see a lot of new comps. It kind of upended a lot of what we've been seeing too as standard meta. So, as we go through the next week or so, and people maybe have breaks and can play some more Axie, I think we're going to be seeing some crazy stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited. I think that it opened up a lot of new combinations. I also think it kind of um, made made some things more viable. That I think just in general it broadened. I hope I'm right, but I feel like in general it broadened the availability of parts that can actually be useful in the PvP setting. So this was a whole category of a bunch of different stuff. The one thing that immediately stood out to me was adding some armor, some defense to Silence Whisper. I know there's been a lot of people asking for that for a while. It also increased the amount of healing that it does. I'm interested to see how this turns out. I do know that I have this on my PvE team, talking about land dwellers, and I am super happy about it because every now and then you get in the situation where you've taken that card because you want to help your tank, you want to keep it alive as you're fighting those chimera, and then all of a sudden it's completely useless unless you've got poison or some reason that you want to tick things off, a stun, something like that. But
Yep.
now you actually get some armor to go along with it, so kind of nice. Um, Other changes I felt like were, I thought the hermit change was pretty good. Needed just a little bit more armor to go along with that, and they added quite a bit, 15. Um, I felt like Chomp has been really strong, Tiny Turtle, and they reduced the damage a little bit there. I'm really interested in Furball. Did you look at Furball very closely?
I actually like Furball a lot. I'm not the best player, but I do have some juggling balls on, on many of my teams. So I'm obviously happy with that. I've always thought it was a decently, strong card depending on the competition or the
Yeah, no,
yeah,
you're
who you're playing
attracted
against. And
to balls. We established that.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Um, no, but I think that one of the issues with a lot of my beast teams is I just got no freaking shield. Really, I just like the multi hit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
I
I
think I think it's a
agree,
unique card.
and especially it seems like I've seen some Yam cards even more so with the changes too, and and the furball works well with that. It becomes more viable to take on your beast, I think. Um, not only because it does a little bit more damage, but also it gives you just a little bit more survivability. Every now and then, that 10 armor is what makes the difference between lasting another round and not. So I think lethal is still strong, but I think it was probably due for a little reduction of damage, kind of like Chomp. Um, and then fragile, a zero cost 30 armor card is actually relatively nice. Um,
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot more of that. I one of the big benefits of these changes, these balance changes, and we always see people complain, and some people are happy when they see these things come out because you spend money on Axies, and
Yep.
you don't want their viability to go down. But one of the benefits of these balance changes is that they bring more potential combinations
Yep.
into the meta potentially. So,
Yep.
hopefully we'll see a lot more variation moving forward. And I think Silence Whisper, Spiky Wing, those are two that I'd like to see more of. I think they're really interesting cards, and the meta is just not hasn't really suited them for a number of seasons.
Yeah, I agree. And Fragile, again, I really like the idea of Fragile. In the chat, I'm not sure if people were talking about maybe it's not working quite right. I'm not sure, but there are still some cards that aren't working quite right. But the idea behind Fragile is that any damage to the shield is doubled, so you can rip through somebody's shield a lot quicker, if I understand it correctly. All right, let's move on to the next group. Bulk work. Some people were saying that it was just ridiculously strong, and I mean, I understand that too. I think Jiho said, or I may have brought up, I can't remember, in a conversation about a kind of a poison bulwark combination that somebody was running that was just really uh, toxic and really, really good. So I think that this is probably, again, it's just a little tweak, but it's these little tweaks that kind of make life easier in these interactions, for sure. Um, what did you think about? I mean, Red Ear, I really like that card. It's interesting because on a plant tank, for example, on, well, whatever tank, it seems like Pumpkin's been almost the only option. With the little bit of increase in Red Ear and the significant increase on Hermit, I mean, and then a little bit of a nerf on Pumpkin. Maybe we see some different tank backs now. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm to be honest, I'm kind of curious about why they did that. I don't know if that's just to, if that extra 5 defense is really gonna convince somebody to go with that over something else. I still
Yeah,
kind of think that the bonus there, to add 15% of this Axie shield to adjacent teammates, really isn't being utilized that much. So I almost think that that's the tweak that they need to make. The actual card, the stats, I'm not sure really what make force people into that decision. I don't know. We'll see. The goal isn't to drastically change how everything works. It's to kind of make small incremental changes and adjust and tweak from there. So
yeah.
we'll see what happens. And the other thing too about all of these, and I'll just throw this out, is I didn't think that they'd come out with these changes right now.
Yep, me neither.
Just because of version 2 coming out soon, and I know that
Yep,
they're reworking a lot of these cards in general. So I'm kind of surprised they did this in at all,
yep, me too.
and it almost tells me that we've still got a little bit to wait until version 2 comes out. I'm almost thinking probably maybe mid to late Q1 now
Yeah, yeah.
instead of earlier. So
Yeah, I agree, but it was also kind of odd on the stream I did with Trung. He basically said that he was kind of moving back over to the land group and kind of moving off of the battles group within the team, which kind of made me think, wow, they must be battles must be just done. But Odin just pointed this out, and that has been stated specifically, and that is some of the players are going to be invited to test Battles V2, and I don't know if that's happening. I haven't been invited to do that, but
right.
one
And
one
I
thing,
guess they can't have 16,000 people jumping in there, so they got to keep those people happy while it's being tested.
right, yeah. I guess Indus can tell us, or AK or Z. Maybe they're all in this secret club that we're not part of.
Indus is guessing 2 seasons from now, so that's 2.5 months.
Yeah,
We're
I
looking.
I would probably put it at that. Maybe we get this season and one more on the old battles, or it's just this season. I'm not sure, but maybe I'm being optimistic as well. Maybe we're further out. I maybe this is the last hurrah for battles. Like they people had said they wanted this change and that change, and so Trung's like, all right, here you go for the last season. We're gonna make these changes. That's awesome. Very ball forward there. Enjoy. I like it.
All about the balls.
Yes, it is apparently tonight. Um, but I did like. I did
This is a
really,
family
really.
show. Sorry.
I did. I did really, really like the change to Gecko. Um,
Yeah, of
again,
course you did. You've always been a wall gecko fanboy.
I was playing Wall Gecko when it didn't make sense to play Wall Gecko, and that's okay. I like that card for some reason. It's I think I like the art on it. I just think it's awesome, even though they changed it so it doesn't really follow conceptually with the idea of what Wall Gecko was supposed to be. I still like it. And then the speed ups we didn't hit. Those got nerfed a little bit. It kind
Yep.
of felt like overall that maybe they wanted to tame Aquas down a little bit, but I still see a gazillion Aqua teams, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the apply speed when attacked is super strong as is. I'm not sure that the 10 damage and the 10
Right.
defense off of that is really going to convince. That's not why you play the card. Again, the
Yep.
reason you play the card is to
Hit
get faster
first.
than the bird, and that 110 is going to take down a bird with a couple of those. So,
Yep.
um, I don't know that that really does anything, but
Yep.
again, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, and at these ones again, little kind of nerfs to more fish cards. Um, and again, maybe this is an acknowledgement that maybe Aquas just in general were a little strong. Don't know. And
Little
then
OP.
yeah, and then a little tweak on Thorny Caterpillar. Thorny felt really strong. The Yam Thorny teams seem to
Hmm.
be pretty tough. So I don't know that this changes it all that much, though. It's still
No, I
pretty
don't think so.
strong.
And you know what? Here's the thing is that's a fun combination. That's something that you see when you see these two cards, you kind of guess that those would work well together and you want to test it out. Like
Yep.
they don't want to nerf fun combinations. Like
Yeah.
that completely goes against the point of this thing. They just want to make, maybe some other things more viable or equally as viable as the combinations. So, pulling that down a notch, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was definitely a nice combo.
Yep.
Um, but it doesn't convince me not to play it.
Yeah.
Like I
Sure.
still
Yep.
I still like doing it.
So let's see if I've got the next slide because this is something I wanted to talk about in a little bit more detail yet. No, wait, we got to do one more and then we'll talk about it. So this one just kind of pulled back on bug signal. I mean, sometimes those bug signal teams were just so terrible to play against. You got your three bugs that are whether they're actually bugs or not, but they all have the antenna and they just make it so you can't hold on to any energy at all because they always have those and they're pounding away at you with some pretty good damage. And this kind of tweaks it a little bit. Same with Rice. I think actually the the nerf to Sirius is extremely important. I mean, everybody was running Sirius all the time, and again because like 50 armor is nothing to sneeze at. So
Right.
in addition to the energy steal, it was just a good viable protection card. Without it, now it's a little bit more. You take Zigzag or Herbivore that have significantly more armor as opposed to Sirius, and you just kind of have to weigh that and decide what makes the most sense now, which I like. I think that
Well,
makes a lot
now
of
now
sense.
you're not shoehorned into picking, one card. You're building around the team, not building around the Axie again.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I mean that was hard. One thing I remember from our chat with Indus, our Axie Chat extra chat with Indus was he likes to build teams around kind of his midliner and his backliner, and then he's kind of picking his tank based on what he sees there. What he's trying to accomplish from the midline and the backline. But it was hard. I mean, it was hard to not take serious. So, yeah, I'm excited to see the different interactions and the interplay that comes from this change. So, but moving on, sometimes, oh my gosh, there's a whole nother slide still. Again, there were hardly any changes here to the meta, huh? I think it's still important that we go through these. I mean, this is a big deal and very important for especially the only real game that we have right now, which is Axie Battles. So, Cottontail was just cleaning up the card, right? I mean, this is the way it worked anyway.
Yep.
Although, I still kind of wonder, like, why didn't it ever go the way the card read? Because I kind of thought, like, allowing Cottontail to gain an energy, but only if you attacked that turn, kind of was an interesting idea. I don't know.
Well, then it would be gain 1 energy when comboed with another card.
Sure,
I think you're right. I mean, you're right.
but I thought it
That's
had to be
why it
an
was said,
attack
but
card. That's the
right.
way when I very first started, I thought it had to be.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I
I think that
agree.
makes more. I think that makes more sense. Flip it and make that you know actually have to be while you're attacking. That'd be a better change to the card.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But regardless, they cleaned up the text, the flavor text there. I guess it's not actually flavor text; it's the real text, the controlling text, which is good. Carrot Hammer, I agree with this. It was a little strong with its utility of the energy gain, so reducing the damage it does made a lot of sense. You do want it to be viable on a tank, so maybe that's why they didn't mess with the shield. But I don't know. I don't know. It still seems like a pretty strong card.
Well, it just goes back to it's not like they're trying to make it weaker. They're just trying to make it fit in with the
Yep.
viability of other things so that you have a choice. It's not like you're forced to pick this card because it's the best card.
Right. And then Leaf Bug. Again, we were talking before, like a free a free card that does damage and gives you pretty good shield and gives you energy. When you compare that to uh, the Spiky Wing, I mean, those two cards we're just not even in parity at all, right?
Right.
So hopefully this brings it a little bit more in parity. And then Aqua Stock, again, a little bit ridiculous the way it was before. So trying to make it a little bit less ridiculous. But yeah, so hey, we hit them all. We went through all the different specific card changes. Hopefully that was useful for you. If you want to know more and want to have them ranked, definitely check out Z and his tier list. And I'm sure Axie Zone will update their stuff too with Switch and Hund. Okay, so this is what I wanted to talk about maybe a little bit more in detail. And this is what I understand it, because there's some confusion here too. So it said that the class bonus was reduced to 10%, but the secret class bonus stayed at 7.5%. So I did my best to take your graphic and try to illustrate what I believe is happening here. So
Yep.
does this look right? And Indus and everybody in the chat who pays attention to this, BA, everybody, I think that what I have here up on the slide represents where we're at right now. So
I'm
when we're talking about the purity, so an aqua part on an aqua body, which is the class, what I understand is that they've changed it so that rather than being a 15% bonus, it's a 10% bonus. Now, there are no secret parts, so parts that are in that same group of the rock, paper, scissors group. Enjoy's running away from this. Then they still get the 7.5. So they didn't further reduce that. They left that at the 7.5 bonus, which I think is why people are now saying that at least Dusk Tank's still still right. But the rock, paper, scissors bonus is still the 15%. Now look, this has to be right. And I, at least I think that this is what it is. And hey, thanks again for the sub, Britt. If this is the case, then the interactions for the RPS, the rock, paper, scissors, are staying the same. It's the purity bonus that is actually, I guess, nerfed here. But when you take that and then you add that in with all the different like little five damage reductions, you think that that's what this is all about? Is just to kind of balance that out for the purity amount being reduced?
I'm not going to say anything until I get Indus's buy-in. I went through this about 5 times earlier with buy-in from different people in Discord, and I kept getting it wrong. So we'll wait. He says it's true. It's just confusing. So you're accurate.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And again, I guess maybe my mind works in mysterious ways, but I tried my best to sort it out. I think I got it figured out. When I first read it, because it says class bonus, which again, I take that to mean like the bonus when classes are fighting against each other. So that's why I was confused from the very beginning. I
Right.
think of it as being the purity bonus, the bonus you get for having same class parts on the same class Axie. So Z says that, again, I guess with the normal classes, it says should have just changed to 25%. So it went from 30% to 25%, pure plus RPS total bonus. And I think, and Crypto Otis, he says in here that he thinks that the 7.5 was not being applied, but I'm not sure if that's right. I think that we didn't see it, at least on the shield. They weren't getting the bonus on the shield, but I don't think it was just not being applied across the board. But again, that does mean that secrets are only getting hit with the 2.5% reduction. So if you've got the same class parts and you've got the benefit of the rock, paper, scissors, if I've added the numbers up right, you're at 22.5% bonus as opposed to 25% bonus if it's pure. Right. I think I said that. And I think what I said in this was that they did say that the shield was not showing up with the 7.5% bonus on the secret classes. I think that's what they said, but
All right,
regardless,
we're gonna have to move on.
shield's no
You guys
longer bugged.
playing the game. You're gonna notice that some of your attacks don't do as much. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
We're getting ourselves in trouble over here.
No, I think that what we have is right. But it's important that you guys really understand, if you're going to take battle seriously, it's important that this stuff kind of be understood. And this was a big feature. And I know it's a confusing feature, but this was a big feature of the change. All right, so let's go back into speculation, Enjoi.
All right.
We touched on it a little bit. We kind of talked about that we're both surprised that we ended up with a meta chain. We ended up with a meta change in battles instead of version 2.
Right.
I kind of thought version 2 was on its way.
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, and I don't even remember where I got that info, but I was under the impression that it was like close to the end of the year, like meaning January. But it seems like they wouldn't have put that much effort into it if that was the case. So I'm sticking back with probably late February, March sometime. That's my new estimate. And we know from your conversation with Trung last week that the roadmap is for the most part pretty accurate. So I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah, so I think we are highly likely to get Ronin in the next 9 days, at least for land and land items. What do you think that means for people that are holding Loom ETH or wrapped Loom ETH?
I don't know. I would assume that there's going to be some transition. I mean that I don't think that they can move off all of their players without considering that that would need to be moved off. So I'm sure they've got some plan for that. And it
Yeah.
very well may be as simple as, hey, we're not using the old system anymore. Get your shit off over the next. I mean, they might keep it live for
Pull your
multiple years.
crap. Get your crap out of here. You know, and I was thinking about Axie Tree too, and I was thinking like, how does that work? And I kind of think, how do you think they have something similar to like how you move Ethereum over to Loom in order to handle kind of the back end stuff with Axie Infinity? Do you kind of like move your NFTs over to the Axie tree where they can be lent somehow or something like that? I don't know.
I
I'm
mean, I think,
interested in the technology there.
yeah. I mean, we'll find out on, in just a couple
Christmas
days
Day.
here.
Yeah.
Right.
Way interested. But I am way interested in Ronin. I'm assuming if land and land items go over to Ronin, and I think that um, presumably we're gonna have to have Loom, or we're gonna have to have ETH that moves over to Ronin, so we'll have Ronin Loom, right? Hopefully, we don't have to have the wrapped one in addition to have offers. Hopefully, they solve that. You'd think they would, right?
I mean, I don't know. I'm hesitant. I don't know if everything will be as smooth when they first transition over. I have a feeling we'll probably still be using the old system and the new system in tangent because, we're looking at only landed items migrated off initially. We still have to deal with the old system for Axies. So I think it'll probably be, it may be a long iterative process.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm excited to see what happens. So again, kind of look at that roadmap, and then let's pull up our little what's next, our what's next little graphic here. Um, what comes out if it's not something here? If there are multiple things that are coming out in the next, I guess by the end of the year,
In the next week,
in the next weekish. What could possibly? I mean, I just sit here and think, what could possibly? Do we get like Project K2?
I mean, there's some things that you don't have on here, which are Axis drop for
Oh
old
yeah,
holders.
I don't have that.
Um,
I kind
that
of put
that
that under staking, but yeah, you're right.
that might be a Christmas present. I don't know.
Staking
Um,
happening this quick?
well, I don't know if it's necessarily staking, but we could get access to see how much we received potentially.
Wow.
I don't know. What are your
Wow.
thoughts?
I mean, that would be incredible, right? To even just have like the idea of the calculation or something, as far as the retro gift, as Jiho likes to call it. I've always kind of put that in terms of that kind of was going to correlate with when the staking dashboard kind of happened, which was next year.
I
Um,
mean, here's the thing: is it doesn't cost them anything. It's pretty quick, pretty easy to,
they did it with
I don't
Luna
know, just
conversion, right?
to disperse. Yep. Um, and it's quick. So if they don't have anything to release to us, giving that out would be pretty, I think, pretty easy for them.
What if
That being
upgrades?
said,
What if upgrades cost small love potions? What do you think upgrades are going to cost?
Axes,
Axies themselves
burning act. I don't know. I've heard that mentioned a few times in
releasing.
chat.
Yeah.
It could be anything, and if we're maybe not getting upgrades until land, it very well could be you have to harvest all these different things and combine them and pay gas fee. And I have a feeling that as we get those upgrades, there's going to be some more way to integrate access with it, to put more money in the treasury. I mean, you don't get your breeds for free. There's a breeding charge, so why would you get an
Yep.
upgrade for free?
Well, did you see that quote that maybe Mystic Axes require some like world quest? Jiho said something about that in order to upgrade their parts. Oh, you didn't see
Sounds
that
cool
one?
to me. No.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was freaking awesome. But I love that idea, like that you have to complete some sort of world quest on land in order to upgrade your mystic parts. So I mean, they're thinking about super cool stuff. Like one thing again, going back to my conversation with Trung is, they have lots of different ideas about how that's gonna all interplay. And I kept talking about access on land, and he was very specific on saying it could be other tokens too. Rare resources, rare materials, access other tokens too. So pretty awesome stuff. Pretty awesome stuff, man.
Are we
But
done?
probably, yeah. I think we're pretty close. We still have marketplace
Oh
stuff.
my God. All right, all right. You
We
you
I mean, the biggest news this whole night has been the Grinch quest. So I don't even know.
I'm doing what I can.
I love
Somebody's
it.
got to bring excitement here.
I love it. Well, I'm excited about the meta changes, but yeah, I can understand. Those are a little heady. Um, I still am wondering when this is happening. We kind of talked about it already, probably enough. So when are we going to get Battles version 2? Um, let's go through the marketplace because you had some stuff you wanted to say about the marketplace.
All right. Rock.
So, uh, what a difference a week makes, right? Well, no, not really. It doesn't make a huge difference. It's pretty much
Dude,
stayed.
it's moving. So if you look at
Okay.
more, all right. So again, for the audio listeners, we gotta be fair to those guys. We're looking at the land plots and the difference between pricing from the initial chest price to last week to this week. And he's right. Initial chest price for Savannah was 0.05. Now it's 0.44. It's changed. It's gone down a little bit since last week. Um, Forest has gone up a little bit since last week. Arctic's gone up a little bit since last week. Mystic's gone up a little bit since last week, or down a little bit. But if you actually look at the marketplace, the floor is thin. I was really surprised at this. I was looking at this earlier today, um, because I feel like we don't see a whole lot of land activity. But there's
Yeah.
been some movement above these floor prices,
Yep.
where if you're looking at the Arctic, dude, you're pretty quick to 1.2. And I know you've been sitting there looking at Arctic prices since, chest price 0.45. Um, so,
Yep.
it's getting thin.
Did I sneak
I
a couple
really,
purchases by you? Maybe I did.
I maybe, I guess you did.
Woo.
Um, but, I think we are still waiting for Catalyst because we've got a lot more players, and yet there's still a lot on the market.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't have their first land yet. But I have a feeling something happens. These numbers are going to start just flying. It's going to get weird.
Yeah, I have the same feeling as well, and it's really hard to know. It's really hard to know what's going to happen. While this chart's up, though, I guess it'd be a good time for me to, again, very specifically address what Trung said about kind of economic return and gameplay on land. And, gameplay, and I felt like this was proved out with Project K because this is what I was kind of asking him. Like, gameplay is going to be available to just about everybody, but specifically every landowner is going to have some access to the kind of basic gameplay. But as far as economic return, the team has a whole bunch of different ideas as to how that's going to come down. But ultimately, that still is going to be based on initial purchase value. So basically, chest price.
Hmm.
He kind of specified that some of those numbers might be a little bit different than we realized because of items. And immediately I thought of the forest items, the forest chests coming with 10 rares. They came with a bigger share of rares, which also would yield a potentially bigger share of epics or mystics based on the
Hmm.
way they did those computations. So keep that in mind. It kind of feels to me like I can't remember what did Mystic Chest come with. They came with quite a few guaranteed Mystic items, right?
Just one mystic item.
Oh, okay. Well,
Hold on, I'm pulling it up now.
but I'm interested because it does
Mm.
seem like there's a multiplier here, and the multiplier seems to be pretty close to, you know, Um, zero point 0.5 times 3 is 0.15 times 3 is 0.45 times 2 ish is the Mystic. Um,
Dude, being
so
back on the site watching these chests kind of float around in the breeze, like
yeah, it's
this
so
brings
cool.
back memories.
Yep.
But yeah, Mystic was one Mystic item, three rare, and six commons.
Which
Uh,
blows my mind because the 10 rares with Forest, like, yeah, wow,
well, yeah, but so Arctic was the only one with at least two epics, three
epics,
rares, and five common items.
right?
Forest was 10 rare, so I'm sure there's some math you could do to figure out
Oh
maybe
yeah,
what the valuation of each of those items was, but
yeah. I mean, it was obvious to me that Trung had that figured out, based on the way he talked about that.
oh, I'm
He
sure.
he has a very clear understanding. But again, I just want to remind people again, like these things are going to impact the economic return. They may not fully impact the kind of gameplay, and they will interrelate the gameplay and the economic return, based on what Trung has said. But again, you got to remember when you look at those multipliers. That's why I put them up every week. I'm trying to help people see like your expected return. And again, return, it's a game. I don't know for sure what to say, but it's what you can expect is going to come off of it from an economic standpoint. So why do? All right. So I just want to kind of reemphasize what Enjoi said, and that is these prices have been staying really firm for quite a long time, and there have been available plots in the market. There has been movement because people have different valuations based on like roads, resource nodes, rivers, just location to the center, all the different reasons people have different valuations for lots. Um, but prices have not significantly relaxed. So I'm expecting in that type of a situation, assuming that land goes off well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because it feels like they can only rise, but could be completely wrong.
Not
NFA
financial advice. Do your own research. There you go. I got you. I got
100%. Okay,
Baronar tagline. You gotta get that embroidered into a hat.
I love it. Yeah, NFA. I'll put it right under here. DYOR. Um, no real change on Genesis plots, so I'm not going to focus a ton on that. Same people listed. That's been 3 weeks now where they've stayed the same.
Yep.
Floors, very interesting Axie floors to look at. Um, Again, pretty much kind of staying the same, but that Origin one really pushed up. Look at that. This was earlier today, Enjoi, which we were talking about. 1.4.
Yep.
Origins are in demand.
Yes, sir. Dude, and the Mystics too. I don't know if anybody saw, but there was a quite a flurry of activity today. It looks like it's maybe from one person under a few different accounts,
Yep.
based on where they were sending it to. But they bought up, was it two or three double Mystics?
Yep.
And I think four,
Single.
three or four were single Mystics as well. So, yeah, man, every once in a while these things just take off, and the double Mystic floor went from 25 ETH to 35 like that.
Yep.
And it's pretty close to, like, I think we're only like three or four away from 50 now too
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
double Mystic side of things.
You're a lucky boy hanging on to one of those doubles. I wish I had snagged a double back in the day. But regardless, it's just awesome. It's great stuff, and the rarity factor is really showing its head. I think when it comes to the Axies. Interesting to hear things. I know Coco has said it, and I recently heard it from Jiho that basically any Axie with an ID under 1 million is actually going to be, kind of cool. What do you think about that? Do you think that that's right, or do you think that that's hype?
I think it depends on how well land gameplay goes, and battles beat too. I mean, we really need to support 100 million Axies
Yep.
for something like under 1 million to be rare. And then even then, you're only talking about 1 out of 100. So, I think anything under 10,000 certainly, maybe everything under 100,000 at some point, but it's really going to depend on execution at this point moving forward.
Yep.
Um, I
And
did go
adoption,
back
right?
and yeah, I did go back and look, and real quick, just another interesting thing to note. It looks like there's an NFT index fund coming out soon. And
Oh,
the person who bought those up, it looks like, have the wallet, like those are going into the wallet for that NFT index fund.
wow.
So, I'll do some digging this week. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. But
How does that?
we
Yeah, I'm way interested in that. Oh my gosh.
we've talked about the interesting thing about this space being that, okay, the team can build one thing and all these outside people can build their own things. Axie Tree, Niftex,
Yep.
um, all these different things that kind of augment the game that we're playing. And then you look at Decentraland, and they've got mortgages for their land, which obviously increased the price. That's what the mortgage industry did to real life land. So stuff like this, like index funds with NFTs, mortgages, all this stuff is really, I think, going to change the game. And if you're looking at the price of this stuff right now and you're thinking, man, how could it go higher? It's the same thing as looking at Bitcoin and thinking, how can it go higher? And then
Exactly.
realizing that all these institutional groups are buying in.
Yep.
Again, I can't tell the future. I can't predict where
Nope.
things are going to go, but I think we've still only seen the start of it.
Well, again, even just looking at Ethereum, I look at that. We now have Bitcoin that has eclipsed its all time high, but Ethereum hasn't yet. And I keep wondering, like, it feels hard because like I still want to acquire more Ether, but I just wonder. I look at that and I just kind of ponder, like, why hasn't Ether jumped like that? And I feel like it's just a matter of time. But who knows? Again, not financial advice. DYOR. But yeah, that double mystic growth is huge. It doesn't matter if it's one person impacting it or not. It still means people are unwilling to let go of their assets. It's just like Genesis, You can argue all you want that Genesis plots are worth less or whatever you want to say, right? But people are unwilling to let them go. Kind of drives what the value is, regardless. This is where we're headed, y'all. NFA.
The moon,
The moon.
the
What do you think
Axis
about
blood moon.
Axis, man? What do you think's happening in the short term? I for a second there I thought, oh wow, we are going to hit $1 before the end of the year.
Dude, you know me, I'm not about selling my land, but
Yeah,
I don't have enough access, and it's low enough right now. I wish somebody would take a few off my hands so I could buy some. I don't know, man. I get excited about it because
play to
it's
earn, buddy. You'll get
it's
it. You'll get it the
it's
other
the
way.
state of the whole thing. But at the same time, I wish I owned more so I could celebrate with everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just one of those things.
It's kind of funny. We have Axie tree, but if you listen carefully to Trung, he talks a couple times about axis trees or
Does he?
bushes or so. Yep, yep,
Oh
yep.
man.
I mean, he's not saying that that's what it's going to be. He just gives that as an example of how play to earn on land might happen, right? So wait till we're harvesting axis trees, my friend. Then you'll be very glad you held on to your land. But I mean, I don't know. Again, I think Jiho pointed this out on Twitter, and I'll see if I can find it for maybe next time, or maybe when we're having our party time or whatever. Um, yeah, money will grow on trees, Odin. That's right. So he said something about, you got to remember there's almost 10 million Axis that's issued and ready within the first year on the play to earn side. So it has to be distributed. It has to come through play to earn, and it's going to have to happen within a period of time. How that all the specifics on that, I don't know. But if you look at some of those spreadsheets in Delphi and you look at how um, all that stuff is mapped out. It's crazy. I think that we had. What do you think about this, Enjoi? Do you, I get ahead of myself. I get thinking so fast. I get so excited, but I think adoption has happened way quicker than they anticipated, and this is what we're experiencing when we're having like when we're stopping SLP from being synced freely. We're kind of um, hitting strong on TOS. Isn't it because adoption has happened way faster than they thought was going to happen?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. I think that they planned initially to have land out way earlier. I think that they had hoped to be further along, and you can't blame them for Jiho's yelled at me in the past for saying pushing it back because it's not pushing it back. They're iterating and they're making it better, and they're
Sure,
trying
pushing it
trying to
back.
make they're making fair enough, but they're making something that's going to hold. They're making something that's gonna keep people engaged at these numbers, right? And it's hard because when you release the initial um, uh, battles version one, there was only 700 people playing, and maybe half of those were actually playing, like on a daily basis, if that.
Yeah,
So the amount of growth that we've seen in the last year, from potentially 300 people playing a day to the 16, 17,000 that we're at now. I don't think they could have anticipated that. I think you hope for that, but at the same time, now you've got to adjust the economy for a larger amount of people than you had anticipated, and you've got
yep,
to adjust the gameplay because now you're seeing all these different combinations that you didn't expect people to take advantage of, and you've got to change things because now you've got these SLP farms popping up. Like those are things that they couldn't have anticipated
yep.
coming up. So, yeah, I think that's a fair assumption.
Yeah, and I think it's wickedly awesome. And I feel like, again, it feels like we're on a breakneck pace. Doesn't it feel like that to you? Like every time like we do this, I'm just like, wow.
What happened in the last week? Yeah, I mean, and again, I send you over some notes of
Yeah,
news articles and whatever to prepare, and
yeah,
every week it takes me longer and longer to do it just because there's so much going on, and at this point, it's not even stuff that the team is necessarily releasing. It's the videos that
big
V's is
things.
making.
Yep,
It's the Axie tree. It's the
cuckoo.
YGG.
Yep,
It's the tournaments that you and T-Pen and Chief are putting on.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
there's just more and more going on. And again, it's not just about the development. It's not just about the game. It's about all these different things that build it. It's about the whole ecosystem developing and growing.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, man, it's so awesome, so exciting. Definitely, it's some of it's already been done, but we're still doing it in December. Uh, I just feel like we haven't even been able to like take a breath, man. It's incredible, and so um, always looking forward to the next Axie Chat. Always looking forward to what is to come. Um, just so hyped. And again, just on land, I guess I just want to say one last thing, and that is like, um, it was interesting to me that Trung didn't didn't make a big deal about location. The only time he really talked about location was kind of closer to the center. How do we make sure that we reward and follow through with what we say about things being closer to the center? He said, I mean, he kind of indicated, obviously, if somebody's right next to a resource node or river or whatever, it's gonna have its own internal advantages. But I guess what I'm saying is, what I took away from what Trung was saying, if you're on the fence about buying a floor plot, I think what you need to look at is where it is comparative to the starting price with chest, and that's going to make you the most happy. I don't know how I can say it more clearly than that, but again, not financial advice. This is a game. Don't be stupid. And I just wanted to say that kind of really really clearly one more time, for anybody who's out there considering, if they want to invest in land assets. So yeah, there we go, man. Wow, one more, one
That's
more,
it.
one more day done.
Another Axie chat in the books.
Yeah, for real. And I can't wait to see the entries for Enjoy's Grinchy Axie breeding. Did you say 250 axis?
I said 250 axis. I'm kind of regretting it now, but I'll hold to it. I know that it's not easy to come up with a breed. Um,
Wow,
let's
man.
uh let's do this. Let's keep it open for, I don't know. What do you think? What's a reasonable time frame for a breeding contest?
New Year? Is that too long? No, I guess you need some time to get it to petite at least.
Feel like, I don't know, 2 months fair? Is end of February? Is that a
Oh yeah,
reasonable amount of
that's.
time?
I
Or is
think
that
that's
too long?
plenty. I think that's plenty. 30 days. I don't know if people are getting on it
Uh,
yet.
all right, first
Oh
person
yeah,
by end of February. We'll
there you
keep
go.
it open through February,
I
and then
like
I'm
it.
keeping the Axis.
I like it. And again, remember, I'm gonna figure out some giveaways for next week's Axie Chat. For sure, we'll do some tips in Discord if the tip bot is working. But I think we still had some. I think we maybe still had some Axies. We'll look and see what we can do. Maybe we can get some people to help contribute as well. But I'm sure we'll find some fun stuff, some good stuff to give away. So everybody, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. Even if we tip, a couple dozen Axis, something like that. It's gonna be a fun time. So, yep.
For sure.
Okay,
All
right
right.
on,
Well,
man.
happy holidays, Merry
You too.
Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, everything under the sun.
100%.
We'll see all you guys next week, and
Axie
have a happy
hard.
holiday.
Peace out. We'll see you in the Axie space. Take care.
Take care, guys.